One art form is getting more attention lately. It's photography. Last year alone, auction sales of art photography rose 54%, and that number is set to keep going. Now, a Canadian photographer who's already broken into some big money is snapping his way to a whole new level.
Edward Burtynsky takes pictures of decaying, polluted landscape. Experts say the irony is his pictures of the destruction are so beautiful. He releases his photos in limited editions. Only a few prints are created from each image. Some sell for as much as $150,000. Given the limited number of each image and the rapid appreciation of his work, collectors buy his photographs not only for their artistic value, but for the investment potential. This photo, called Breezewood, Pennsylvania, sold for $16,000 in 2009, but it went for $43,750 at an auction last fall.
I could have just taken that out my window. Burtynsky was just named 2018 Master of Photography by Photo London. He's here on set with us. We're also joined by Kevin O'Leary. You know him as an investor in businesses and stocks and ETFs, but Mr. O'Leary has been buying Burtynsky's photographs. And Kevin, how well have they done for you?
You know, what's so interesting about Ed's work is last October I had all of my art assessed by an insurer, which I do every 2 years. And he came back to me and said, what do you think appreciated most, including your Warhols and everything else? It was Ed's work. Photography as an asset class has pretty well beat everything in appreciation. And it's something most investors, including me, had no idea was appreciating so quickly. I mean, what really stuns me, and I've always wanted to know this from Ed, is what stops you from just printing a whole bunch more, just like Bitcoin? Why can't, if the print is worth 100,000, why don't you print 10 more of them? That's what I've always wondered about photography.
Let's hear your answer, but I would guess you're kind of like the Federal Reserve. If you print too much of it, it's not going to be worth anything. What do you think, Ed?
Well, absolutely. And if I overprinted, it would be a loss of trust to my collectors. And you know, if I fool you once, my bad. If I fool you twice, your bad. You know, so it won't last very long in the market. It's really a small market, and you know, you just can't do that.
Is this right here that you traditionally release your work as 6 of the 48 by 64 frame prints and only 3 of the 60 by 80. So that's it for each photo?
There is one other smaller size that I have 9 of, but I do usually under 20 of any image.
Wow. So are you surprised by how this has appreciated? I'm sure it must feel good, but how do you know how the market for your own art is doing?
Well, I am surprised. You know, when I started, there was no market. In fact, my mother's very happy that there actually one appeared because she thought I was going to be destitute for my whole life. But in the 90s and you know, and into the 2000s, it really began you know, growing as a market on many other great photographers who began being collected by museums and starting to find prices like Cindy Sherman's and Jeff Wall's and Andreas Gursky's. And I think the German school really helped bring the market to photography, and in a way, in that current, my work was also caught.
Yeah, I know you say you keep the number of prints low. Obviously, that's a matter of trust with your clients. But I do wonder the way it is for any photographer, the way digital images are making their way all over the place. Obviously, nobody would, even if they're not passing it off as an authentic print. I just wonder if there's any good way to keep tabs on it. Do you worry about the fact that things become ubiquitous, somebody prints them up, anything like that?
I would think that probably the scribes or the writers, and you know, before the Gutenberg press felt the same way. Now everybody can print and it's ubiquitous. I think it's about your authorship. I think it's about the ideas you bring to bear. It's the kind of commitment to an idea, and then going for it and living your life that way. I think it isn't something that you take halfway, so I'm fully entrenched in it.
Kevin, do you think you just got lucky because this guy's so good, or would you start buying photographs from other people as an investment?
I have other photographers, but Ed's work is so daunting because, you know, he takes these images of these incredibly desolate, polluted places destroyed by industry that are so beautiful. And that's the irony of this whole thing. You know, getting back to the image work, though, but photography is delicate. If it's exposed to light, it can get damaged. Ed, has there ever been a case, because I know your work hangs corporately, I've seen it in airline lounges. What happens if it gets destroyed by fire? Have you ever replaced it just out of the goodness of your heart?
quick last word, Ed.
There was definitely an interesting story when 9/11 occurred. Cantor Fitzgerald had 4 of my prints in their offices, and they could prove that they had them there. And my dealer in New York also had the record of it being there, and we were able to replace it at cost through the insurance company. So because it's a medium in which I can replace, unlike a painting, which is a one-off, I can actually replace a print if it's damaged.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.